And you also talked about inclusions a little earlier. Are they part of what you would expect to see more of in terms of trends in 2022, or are there other trends that are sort of high on your radar at the moment?
Well, I feel with the inclusions, you're kind of getting a meal in one. Yeah, the bread has to be the main player of that. I mean, lots of Middle Eastern flavors are coming through, za'atar and dukkha, and I mean, we've seen the trends of colors. I don't really think that's going to be one that's going to stay forever, but I think that coming up with really kind of fruits and spices and those harmonizing, so you still get the sour running through. I think that's a challenge. And I mean, there's some great bakeries that are just playing around with MPD and just trying to get some real great flavor combinations. But kind of like an olive and dukkha sourdough is an amazing meal in itself. All that really needs is some good oil, and I'm totally satisfied.
Brilliant. And you've just mentioned some specific sort of examples of inclusions that could work quite well. Are there any other key ingredients that you think are likely to pop up a bit more in NPD in the next 12 months or so?
Well, I mean, I kind of shooed away from colours, but I mean, a lovely visual, and it doesn't detract from the flavour, is a charcoal and kalamata, where it's also visually beautiful, and it's just a stunning bread. And I still think that the predominant inclusion has to sway more to it being to tick the health conscious box. So I think that sprouted grains, using the ancient grains, these are all kind of low protein flours that the health conscious are really kind of buying into. They're driving sourdough in this direction. But yeah, we can still have some fun with it as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think you mentioned earlier also that you really see a lot of potential for gluten-free sourdough as well. Again, is your expectation that we're going to see more of that next year?
Well, I think that has to be the next level. I know from classes that I do, especially when I do gluten-free classes, there's now large percentages of people that are coming to those classes that are not gluten intolerant at all, but it's now a health choice. But it's mastering, being able to do. We may be able to do that in a small bakery or at home, but it's translating that into the industry of mass production, and that's where all the hard work's going to be on that front. But it is with sourdough, it is trying to make that transition into a factory, but it is about education. It is about educating people what sourdough is, and some people, especially the purists of the sourdough, don't have a really good reflection on mass production. So it's really to convince them that it's a clean product. And I guess that's the key as far as education, to show that mass production we can still make this a genuine sourdough.